So I just got this question from one of my clients, and I thought it would be a fantastic video in case one of you guys are running into this issue. He says, "Sounds good, I'll try that. I always feel lightheaded when I stand back up. Do you get that too?" This is in response to handstand feedback that I gave him. And the answer is no, I personally do not get lightheaded, and neither should you. It's not normal, although it is common. So let's take a look at what's going on. First of all, I think we have to understand that handstands are weird, okay? Most people will never get upside down. We don't go outside and see people walking on their hands. It's completely abnormal, especially in today's society. No one's really doing it. You have to be in this really tight community. So getting upside down, what's going on physiologically is that a lot of blood is rushing to your brain because you're going from head, top, feet, bottom, and then doing a complete 180. So when that happens, a bunch of blood is coursing through your body into your head. And if you're a beginner to handstands, or this is like your first set or two throughout the day, it's going to cause a little bit of fuzziness, right? And maybe a little bit of lightheadedness. So you want to sort of warm up to it and prep your body to kind of just get used to that blood flow and getting upside down. So an easy way to do that is to start raising your hips higher than your shoulders and your head by performing things like downward dogs. And then you can move on to bear walks. And if you're doing freestanding handstand work, not just along the wall, but actually kick up slowly and lightly at first, and then you can kind of gradually increase the height on that, which is something I recommend to everyone anyway when they're doing freestanding handstand work, is kicking slowly, under kicking at first, and then gradually kicking up, just so that you find that balance and you can calibrate according to how you're feeling that day. But there's also the psychological component too, and handstands are scary, okay? It's not every day that we're getting upside down, and you're placing a lot of stress on yourself because you have to trust your body not to break when it falls, and you're trusting these two hands to not let yourself fall. And what that's gonna do is going to cause a lot of stress. And what do we do when we're stressed? Well, our heart rate starts increasing. And what happens when that happens? Well, one or two things are going to happen, right? You're going to start hyperventilating, okay? And when you're hyperventilating in a handstand, I mean, you're probably not, because, at least in the freestanding handstand, is because you're just going to fall over. If there's a lot of movement, if you're breathing really rapidly, there's going to be a lot of movement, you're going to fall over. But it could happen when you're along the wall. And so when you're hyperventilating and breathing, trying to stay up there, you're probably gonna feel lightheaded when you come back down. Whereas on the other side, you could hold your breath to prevent movement, and what happens when you hold your breath for a very long time is that you become lightheaded. So you don't wanna do that either. So a solution for both of those things is to think about something second nature and rehearse it. For example, you can count 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. And hopefully counting is second nature to you, so you can focus on other things while allowing yourself to breathe. So when you're focusing on things like technique, you can count, and when we're counting, what happens is you're letting air in and you're letting air out. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. So you inhale and then you exhale. Very, very important when you're getting upside down in the handstand. If you're someone that's easily distracted and you feel like counting only reinforces you hearing your breath and that's distracting or just awkward to you, what you could do is crank up the music and put on a song that you know by heart, and then just sing along with that song. And so what happens when you're singing is the same thing that happens when you're counting, is when you sing, you're letting air in and you're letting air out. And that way you can focus on your technique, pushing nice and tall, tucking your tailbone in, gripping the floor while you are breathing. Part of this fear from falling is feeling unprepared. And you need to practice exiting the handstand safely. And the easiest way to do that is to practice your cartwheel. And it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect at first to begin starting to work on your cartwheel. You can take it into bite-sized pieces. For example, cutting it at an angle with your legs bent and your hips bent, and then just gradually progress that over time by kicking a little bit higher, straightening your legs a little bit more, and extending your hips a little bit more. And what that's going to do, it's going to allow you to get a little bit more upside down, right? You're gonna get a little bit more inverted, and you're also teaching yourself how to take that step to bail out of the handstand safely. And the cartwheel is pretty much the standard way to exit a cartwheel, alongside a pirouette, which is sort of like a one-handed cartwheel with a slight rotation. So if you work on those things, you'll feel a little bit more prepared, therefore a little less scared when you're performing handstands. So if you are at all feeling lightheaded or dizzy or disoriented after handstand attempts and handstand sessions, take these tips into consideration. Understand that there's a physiological and a psychological component to training handstands, and you want to have yourself be as prepared as possible when you're doing them. So that's all I have. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. I would love to make more videos like this one to address specific questions that you have. So definitely feel free to send them over. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this one. Until next time.